So let's talk pool heaters. If we're deciding what we want or how to use what we already have, how do you approach that with a client?
This is a great question. I feel like we get this on every pool. If you don't have a heater, you're thinking about getting a heater. And if you have a heater, you're thinking, am I using it properly? In Indian River County, Florida, there's a couple types of pool heaters that are used every day. One of those is a gas fuel fired heater. So it's either going to be propane or natural gas. So if we're staying on that heater, that's more of your kind of instant fire, so to speak. We've all cooked on a gas range and on an electric range. You know which one boils water faster typically. Very same principle. So when we translate that to pool heaters, the gas heat is going to be fairly faster. So it's used better in spas or smaller pools that have less gallons of water because we're calling it to heat it quicker. So that's the typical scenario where you and your wife are out for dinner and you're running home and it's a cool mid-fall evening and you want to hop in the spa, then you fire that thing up. And then 30, 40 minutes on an average size spa, you're going to be, warm enough to where you can enjoy it.
So how does that compare? How much slower is electric? And why would I even choose electric?
So you would choose electric for maintaining. If you want that instant heat and you want it right now, it's going to be gas. And having both isn't a problem either. You can sometimes series those together where your heat pump is more efficient. It's going to run off your electric. You're not using fuel, so there is a lower operating cost. You're not using electric and fuel. You're just using electric.
If, say, one client has that gas heater and they use their pool all the time and it's on and it's keeping 85 plus degrees, and one's got the electric heat pump and it's similar, how would those monthly operating costs compare?
So the monthly operating cost on the heat pump would be a little less. Again, you're not going to get that instant heat, but your fuel surcharge is zero. Whereas, if you have a propane or natural gas, you're paying twice. So like on the heat pump side of things, it's more of long and low. So you can keep that pool 85, 87 degrees, but it's got to run a little longer. You're not getting that drastic temperature rise, but you're getting that 3 or 4 or 5 degrees. It's perfect for, it's 80 degrees outside and you're going to swim at night and you want that pool to be 85, 87 at night, then we can turn it on and run it to get you to there.
A lot of times I'll interject with the client and ask that question back to them. How do you plan to use the pool? What I've noticed over the years is that there's a disconnect between what they think they'll do when they want to use the pool and what they'll actually do later on down the road when they have the heater and they're trying to hit go and want to enjoy it. And one big curveball is the weather. Some of our folks are seasonal and they come in every so many weeks or months and they want to use it for that weekend. If that's a cold weekend, your heat pump's going to struggle.
Absolutely. Heat pump's more for maintaining.
So that curveball comes in where it's like, okay, if we're going to go gas, we know we've got fire, we've got heat, and we've got heat quicker, but it's more expensive. So independent of weather, it's the one that say, if I have to have it and I really want it, no matter what it costs, gas heat is the way to go. And then as you mentioned earlier, spa, if it takes 20 to 30 minutes to heat with gas, it's probably going to take an hour to an hour and a half to heat with a heat pump. You may not want to wait that long to go use your spa with your significant other and a glass of wine or just to have that relaxation. That's another consideration. How are they going to use their pool? So for the clients who are here long-term, who want to set it and forget it, and generally if it's cold, they're not necessarily too worried about swimming, heat pump's probably a better option. And if we can do both, we're going to prioritize gas heat to get us there.
Yeah, so both comes into the situation to where maybe you have a pool spa combo and you're wanting to use that feature of the spa, just like you explained, where you're hopping in it and you want instant gas heat, where, it's kind of cooler at night and you want to speed it up. So there's a bunch of different ways we can make it happen, but you can series those together where you're getting kind of the best of both worlds in a pool spa combo situation.
Right. We know at the end of the day, the pool costs much more than the heater. So if the heater is the reason we don't use the pool, we're kind of giving ourselves a bad experience. As we like to see at least one or the other. We got to know how you're going to use it. And then maybe we need both, because in those colder times you visit, if we can't run a heat pump at 50 degrees or less, you still can run the gas heater, you still can use that pool, and your investment gives you that ROI we talked about earlier.